The 2021 NHL offseason was one of the most insane offseasons in recent memory, definitely the craziest one since I've had a YouTube channel for sure. So much player movement. Obviously we had the expansion draft which contributed to that, but also like always we had free agency and just the sheer amount of trades that took place, and not just trades but significant trades involving big name players. There was a ton of roster turnover for a lot of teams heading into this season, and in this video I want to highlight 5 NHL players who have been lighting it up so far this season with their new team. When you're finished the video, be sure to let me know down in the comments if there's anybody that you think I missed, and while you're down there, you might as well leave a like, I'd really appreciate it. Let's start things off with the first of 2 goaltenders we're going to talk about in this video, the first being 40-year-old Craig Anderson of the Buffalo Sabres, definitely the most surprising name on this list. Heading into the season, if you were to rank every team's goaltending situation, you would probably have the Buffalo Sabres somewhere between 30th and 32nd. Nobody had high expectations or any expectations for this team really at all, and I would say the same thing for their individual players as well, or most of them, especially the goaltenders. And while it is still very early in the season and things more likely than not are going to regress to the norm over the next couple of months, let's give Craig Anderson some praise while we can, because he has been fantastic to start the season. In 4 starts this season, Craig Anderson has a record of 3-1, with his most recent win being a 35 save performance over the Tampa Bay Lightning of all teams. He's currently rocking a 1.76 goals against average, a .944 save percentage, a goals saved above average of 4.13, and a goals saved above expected of 1.42. And let me reiterate, this is a 40-year-old goaltender who only played 4 games in the NHL last season. What Craig Anderson is doing to start this season, albeit it is a very small sample size, is still extremely impressive, and I wanted to make sure I gave Craig Anderson his praise in this video because, I mean, who doesn't love Craig Anderson? He's one of the best people in the NHL. I'm happy to see him doing so well. Let's now move on to one of 2 former Toronto Maple Leafs we're going to talk about today, the first being Zack Hyman, winger for the Edmonton Oilers. When the Oilers signed Zack Hyman to that massive contract, it got a lot of criticism, and it wasn't really the dollar value, which is $5.5 million a season, it was more so the length of the contract, and I always said, well, the length doesn't really matter because the Edmonton Oilers are trying to win right now. They're trying to win over the next 2-3 seasons. Ken Holland probably doesn't care about seasons 5, 6, and 7 of Hyman's contract because he may not even be in Edmonton then. The reality is, whether you like the contract or not, Zack Hyman makes the Oilers a much better team. He is the perfect player to play alongside Connor McDavid, and he's shown that throughout the first 6 games of the season. In those 6 games, Zack Hyman is scoring at a goal per game pace with 6 goals and 1 assist for 7 points. He's not an elite player, but he is an elite complementary player. He plays off of stars extremely well, and we saw that in Toronto when he was playing with Matthews. He knows his role and he does it perfectly. He goes to the net, he goes to those dirty areas and retrieves pucks, gets it to his star players, and he makes their life a lot easier. Now, is Zack Hyman going to score at this pace for the entirety of the season? Obviously not, but if I had to guess, I would imagine he's probably going to put up career highs in almost every offensive category. Next up, we have the first player we're going to talk about who was acquired via trade, and that is winger Connor Garland of the Vancouver Canucks. I'll be the first to admit I didn't watch too many Arizona Coyotes games over the past 2-3 seasons. Sue me, I'm sure you didn't either. I knew Connor Garland was a really good player, put up real solid point totals over the past 2 seasons. His per 60 numbers were good, his analytics were good, but what I didn't know about Connor Garland, which I have now learned watching him in Vancouver to start the season, is how much of an edge he plays with. He's a pesky guy, he gets under the other team's skin. I feel like Travis Konecny summed it up pretty well when he called Connor Garland an angry little elf. That's kind of how Connor Garland plays. He's already up to 8 points in just 7 games. He should easily shatter his career highs across the board if he stays healthy. Goals, assists, total points, and he brings a lot more to the table than just that for the Canucks. He's a very valuable player, and he's on an absolute steal of a contract too. Next up, we have the second goaltender and second former Leaf of the video, Freddy Anderson of the Carolina Hurricanes, a player who I feel like is proving a lot of people, including myself, wrong so far this season. When the Carolina Hurricanes decided to trade Calder finalist Alex Nedeljkovic to the Red Wings for what seemed like pennies on the dollar, and then went out and signed Freddy Anderson, who was coming off of a couple of poor seasons, and last season he had injury problems. Those moves raised a lot of eyebrows, especially considering the fact that they signed Freddy Anderson for more than it would have taken to bring back Alex Nedeljkovic or even Peter Mrazek for that matter. But so far, so good. I mean, the Carolina Hurricanes look like geniuses for this move. If the season were to end today, Freddy Anderson would be a Vezina finalist easily. He's been one of the best best goalies in the league thus far. He has a perfect 5-0-0 record, a 1.60 goals against average, and a 946 save percentage. He's also second in the entire NHL amongst goaltenders, only behind Sergei Bobrovsky in goals saved above expected at 5.75. He's been fantastic. That stat there really shows how good Freddy Anderson has been, because I have seen a couple of people saying, well, he's playing for the Carolina Hurricanes and goals against average, his record, a lot of that is kind of a team thing. Well, goals saved above expected really isolates a goaltender's performance, and him being on the Carolina Hurricanes isn't the only reason his numbers are so good. Actually, him being on the Carolina Hurricanes is a big reason why the Hurricanes are still undefeated this season. And now for the final player we're going to talk about today, Sam Reinhart of the Florida Panthers. Man, is this team clicking on all cylinders. They are a perfect 7-0-0, and Sam Reinhart, like a lot of other players the Panthers have acquired over the past year and a half, has fit right in. He's one of 6 current Florida Panthers with 7+ points through the first 7 games of the season. Over the past 2 seasons in Buffalo, Sam Reinhart was averaging close to 20 minutes a night. He was someone who the Sabres relied on a ton, and in Florida he's actually only averaging under 16 minutes a night, but still putting up really good results. Sam Reinhart is a player who, in my opinion, has been underrated for the majority of his career, and I think it's going to continue to be that way now that he's in Florida. Obviously, Florida isn't the biggest hockey market, but even when you talk about their success, a lot of it's going to be attributed to Barkov, Huberdeau, Ekblad, the stars on the team. But what makes the Panthers so good is the depth that they have, and that is from bringing in guys like Verhaeghe, bringing in guys like Anthony Duclair, Sam Bennett, and now Sam Reinhart. So that is going to wrap up today's video, going over 5 NHL players who are currently lighting it up with their new team to start the season. If there's anybody that you think I missed, like I said at the start of the video, be sure to get down there in the comments section, let me know. And while you're down there, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please be sure to leave it a like. I'd really appreciate it. It helps out the video a ton. And one thing that I do want to let you guys know before I go here, I'm actually starting to use my Instagram account a lot more. I'm posting daily hockey content over there as well. So if you're somebody who uses Instagram a lot, you want some more hockey content from me on your feed, be sure to give my account a follow. I'll leave a link to it down below in the description. And one other thing I want to give you guys a heads up on, there's going to be an NHL Deal or No Deal coming out tomorrow. There is currently a post up on the community tab for you guys to submit your mock trades, so before it's too late, head on over there, submit a mock trade for a chance to be featured in the video. Obviously, no promises that your mock trade will be featured in the video because I can't put them all in or the video would be hours long, but I figured I would give you guys a heads up because whenever I upload interactive videos, I get a lot of comments saying I missed the post, where do you post these things? So just head on over to the community tab for that.